Yeah. Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Radha Madhava Describing yoga, and it's on the board. Everybody repeat, please. Yoginam, Api, Sarvesham, Magate Nanta, Atmana, Shravan, Bhajite, Yoma, Same, Yuktadamo, Mataha, Yoginam Api Sarvesham, Magate Nanta Atmana, Shravan Bhajite Yoma, Same Yuktadamo, Mataha, Yoginam Api Sarvesham, Magate Nanta Atmana, Shravan Bhajate Yoma, Same Yuktadamo Mataha, Yoginam Api Sarvesham, Magate Nanta Atmana, Shravan Bhajate Yoma, Same Yuktadamo Mataha. Someone else would like to chant, please?
Yoginamapi sarvesham
Yoginamapi sarvesham
Madgatarantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yomam Same yuktatama mataha
Yoginamapi sarvesham
Yoginamapi sarvesham
Madgatinantaratmana
Madgatinantaratmana
Shraddhavan bhajate yomam
Shraddhavan bhajate yomam
Same yuktatamo mataha
Same yuktatamo mataha. Any ladies? Ladies, please.
Yoginamapi sarvesham
Yoginamapi sarvesham Madgatinantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yomam Same yuktatamo mataha.
Yoginamapi sarvesham
Yoginamapi sarvesham
Madgatinantaratmana
Madgatinantaratmana
Shraddhavan bhajate yomam
Shraddhavan bhajate yomam
Same yuktatama mataha
Same yuktatamo mataha.
Yoginamapi sarvesham
Yoginamapi sarvesham Madgatinantaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yomam Same yuktatamo mataha. Okay, the word for word meaning. Yoginam.
Yoginam.
Of yogi.
Of yogis.
Api.
Api.
Also.
Also.
Sarvesham.
Sarvesham.
All types of.
All types of.
Magatena.
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 Abiding in me.
Abiding in me.
Always thinking of me.
Always thinking of me.
Antatma.
Antatma.
Within himself.
Within himself.
Shraddhavan.
Shraddhavan.
In full faith.
In full faith.
Bhajate.
Bhajate.
Renders transcendental loving service.
Renders transcendental loving service.
Yaha.
Yaha.
One who. Mam.
Mam.
To me.
To me.
The Supreme Lord.
The Supreme Lord.
Saha.
Saha.
He.
He.
May.
May.
By me.
By me.
Yuktamaha.
Yuktamaha.
The greatest yogi.
The greatest yogi.
Mataha.
Mataha.
Is considered.
Is considered.
Translation, please repeat. And of all yogis,
And of all yogis,
the one with great faith,
the one with great faith,
who always abides in me,
who always abides in me,
thinks of me within himself,
thinks of me within himself,
and renders transcendental loving service to me.
and renders transcendental loving service to me.
He is the most intimately united with me
He is the most intimately united with me
in yoga,
in yoga,
and is the highest of all.
and is the highest of all.
That is my opinion.
That is my opinion.
So Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna in this last verse of the 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And of all yogis, this is after describing some yogis here in the... he's talking... Arjuna had expressed some doubt about what will happen to him if he takes to the process of yoga, but he fails. He's thinking, you know, I've set aside my material position and I've taken to this transcendental practice. What if I fail? Then I've failed materially and I've failed spiritually. What's going to happen to me? So Krishna, he relieves all of his doubt. by telling him that anyone who engages in transcendental practice does not meet with destruction, either in this world or the next. One who does good, he says, my friend, he calls Arjuna his friend, is never overcome by evil. The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people, into a family of rich aristocracy. Or, if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life. And he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success, O son of Kunti. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to yogic principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. A yogi is greater than an ascetic, greater than an empiricist, and greater than the fruited worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. And of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service unto me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So, let's hear Srila Prabhupada's opinion. It's not exactly his opinion. He's translating the commentaries of the previous acharyas and also making it presentable for people in our world today, and he's specifically doing this in the English language. So here Prabhupada says the word bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its root in the verb bhaj, which is used when there's need of service. The English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaj. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to the worthy one. But service with love and faith is especially meant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can avoid worshiping a respectable man or a demigod and may be called discourteous, but one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. Every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And thus every living entity is intended to serve the Supreme Lord by his own constitution. Failing to do this, he falls down. The Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, text 3 confirms this. Ya esham purusham shakshat atma prabhabam ishwaram na bhajanti abhajananti stanad brashta pratanyadaha. One who does not render service and neglects his duty unto the primeval Lord, who is the source of all living entities, will certainly fall down from his constitutional position. In this verse, also the word bhajanti is used. Therefore, bhajanti is applicable to the Supreme Lord only, whereas the word worship can be applied to devas or any common living entity. The word abhajananti, used in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, is also found in the Bhagavad Gita. Avajananti mamura. Only the fools and rascals deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Such fools take it upon themselves to write commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita without an attitude of service to the Lord. Consequently, they cannot properly distinguish between the word bhajanti and the word worship. The culmination of all kinds of yoga practices leads to bhakti yoga. All other yogas are but means to come to the point of bhakti and bhakti yoga. Yoga actually means bhakti yoga. From the beginning of karma yoga to the end of bhakti yoga is a long way to self-realization. Karma yoga without fruitive result is the beginning of the path. When karma yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called jnana yoga. When jnana yoga increases in meditation on the super soul by different physical processes, and the mind is on him, it is called Ashtanga yoga. And when one surpasses the Ashtanga yoga and comes to the point of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, it is called Bhakti yoga, the culmination. Factually, Bhakti yoga is the ultimate goal. But to analyze Bhakti yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. The yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of yoga. The yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of eternal good fortune. One who sticks to a particular point and does not make further progress is called by that particular name. Karma yogi, jnana yogi, raja yogi, hatha yogi, etc. If one is fortunate enough to come to the point of bhakti yoga, it is to be understood that he has surpassed all other yogas. Therefore, to become Krishna conscious is the highest stage of yoga. Just as when we speak of the Himalayan, we refer to the world's largest mountains, of which the highest peak, Mount Everest, is considered to be the culmination. It is by great fortune that one comes to Krishna consciousness on the path of bhakti yoga, to become well situated according to the Vedic direction. The ideal yogi concentrates on Krishna, who is called Sham Sundra, who is beautifully colored as a cloud, whose lotus-like face is effulgent as the sun, whose dress is brilliant with jewels, and whose body is flower garland. Illuminating all sides is his gorgeous luster, which is called Brahmajyoti. He incarnates in different forms, such as Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he descends like a human being, is the son of Mother Jasoda, and he is known as Krishna, Govinda, and Vasudeva. He is the perfect child, perfect husband, perfect friend, and perfect master. And he is full in all opulences and transcendental qualities. If one remains fully conscious of these features of the Lord, he is called the highest yogi. This stage of highest perfection in yoga can be attained only by bhakti yoga, is confirmed in the Vedic literature. Yasya deva parabhaktir yata deva tata guru tashaite kahita hyata prakasante mahatmanaha. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the inputs of the Vedic knowledge automatically revealed from the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. And there's only one more sloka, so I'll go ahead and read that. There's a Sanskrit sloka, but the translation is Bhakti means devotional service to the Lord, which is free from desire for material profit. either in this life or in the next. Devoid of such inclinations, one should fully absorb the mind in the Supreme. That is the purpose of nice Kamya. And that is also from an Upanishad. These are some of the means for performance of bhakti or Krishna consciousness, the highest perfectional stage of the yoga system. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the last verse of the 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada ki. So, thank you for listening. Hope that wasn't too long to everybody, So this Bhakti Yoga is, we can understand is very important, but also we can understand it isn't that difficult, if we have some devotion to Krishna. And that is really wonderful when we have some type of inspiration like that, especially from the beginning of our life. Then one can take advantage of such faith to perfect their life. And simultaneously, the devotees can take advantage of the huge market. Just like so many people in the world, they take advantage of different markets to accumulate some wealth. So in the same way, because the market is so full of human beings who don't possess such faith, either their faith is lacking in Krishna, or it's lacking in the Supreme Lord, or they have some faith in the Supreme Lord, but they may not know much about Krishna. So then that's a big market, a lot of people. So the devotee of the Lord who has been inspired by Krishna himself, because Krishna says in the 18th chapter that one who teaches this science to the devotees is very dear to him. So the devotee is encouraged by Krishna to teach the science of Bhagavad Gita. That is the job of a Brahmin, or a person who understands Krishna, to teach the science of Krishna. So we should open up shop, just like people do all over the world to earn money. We open up shop to teach about Krishna. That's the purpose of the temple, to teach about Krishna. And so hearing about Krishna is the way people learn. Just like when we go to an academic institution, we learn by hearing. So to come to the temple, one should learn from the sadhus. And what the sadhu has to give is faith in Krishna. That is the most precious gift. Just like we heard the story this week about the man who had prayed to Lord Shiva for benediction. He wanted a touchstone, or this type of object that if you touch it to metal, or maybe even other things, it will turn into gold. So he was told by Lord Shiva to go to Sanatan Goswami in Vrindavan, because Sanatan possessed a touchstone. So he went there and he asked him, after paying due respects and proper greeting, he asked him if he could have his touchstone. And I'm sure he did that in a very gentlemanly way. And Sanatan told him, yes, you can have it. It is in the trash over there. So he got the touchstone and he was very amazed by it. But then he couldn't stop thinking, well, why did he throw it in the trash? So he thought he must have something better than it. So he went back to him and said, I don't know why you put this in the trash, but you must have something better. So I would like that. I would like to see what that is. I want that. So Sanatan said, yes, you can have it, but you have to first throw the touchstone away. So that was very difficult for him, but when he managed to do that, then Sanatan gave him the Hare Krishna mantra. In this day and age, it's a very, to receive the greatest thing may be very difficult. There may not be anyone really properly qualified, or not many people properly qualified. So Krishna makes it very easy. He gives everybody the Hare Krishna mantra. People are looking for different things, and they'll turn to God for those things. God, give me my daily bread. God, help me with my education. God, help my family. God, help me to earn sufficient money. We appeal to God for so many things, and to do that we may chant so many mantras or so many hymns that are sacred and have some power to help us. So the Hare Krishna mantra is especially empowered in this day and time, in this dark age of Kali, where irreligious principles or darkness rules. There's so much corruption, etc., ill health, problems, lack of facilities, so many things in the dark age of Kali. So people, they're looking for something to aid, something to help. So the Hare Krishna mantra is especially empowered, not only to help people materially, but to help them spiritually. If a person desires liberation, they can achieve that. If a person desires their material needs, they can achieve that. But in all cases, the Hare Krishna mantra is so powerful that it actually liberates us from our material conceptions. And we can understand that this temporary life is not really significant. It's not very important, other than it gives me the opportunity to attain the highest goal very easily. I can revive my relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, even if my motive is for something material. In the course of time, by associating with the Hare Krishna mantra, one can become a pure devotee of Krishna. That is a miraculous thing. Not anyone can become a pure devotee of Krishna. It's a very difficult thing. Very difficult, especially if we don't have any desire to become a pure devotee of Krishna. How can we become his devotee if we don't even want to become his devotee? But by chanting Hare Krishna to achieve something else, one can gradually become a real devotee. Someone who does have some love for Krishna. Actual love for Krishna. That is the mercy of God in this dark age, that anyone can receive the greatest treasure of love of Krishna. So we're very fortunate. And Prabhupada teaches this science just like he taught us today. It's not an easy thing to even comprehend, but it is easily available. And if anyone takes the opportunity to hear from Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, as he has blessed the entire world with, and we take the opportunity to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, then our life can become perfect. It simply takes some time, but we're utilizing our time for so many things. If we utilize some of the time to do this, to chant Hare Krishna, then very rapidly, we'll attain love for Krishna. But it takes some time, and that time we have. Right now we have that time. So we have to utilize it as much as possible and not get discouraged. Because very soon our death will approach. One day, all of us, our death will approach. It's like we have a friend down the road. He didn't expect it. 6 months ago he thought he was all right. Now all of a sudden he's got some disease and he can't hardly get out of bed. He can't hardly swallow. Doesn't know what's even happening. They haven't even had time to diagnose it. He may have Lou Gehrig's disease. He may have some type of Parkinson's. He doesn't know. But he's just, all of a sudden, he's in this dilemma, and all we can think about is, let me try to remember Krishna. But very fortunate that he can think like that. Because my time is now up. The time has come when I have to check out. So he's very lucky because he's thinking of Krishna. Somehow, ever throughout his life, he had some connection, and now he's able to take advantage of it. And he's able to give the ticket to death. Here, death, here's my ticket. Now take me wherever. And that ticket says Hare Krishna, so that means that we go to Krishna. Just very quickly like that. Because that is the advantage of the mantra, The mantra is the ticket. Hare Krishna and Hare Krishna. And we can go to Krishna. So I'll conclude. I can conclude right there. We have maybe a couple of minutes if anybody has some questions. Hare Krishna. Or comment. Mother Mahatma.
Yeah, you say that it's very easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
It must be.
Then again, we go and approach people out there and they refuse.
Mm-hmm. Well, but I was also trying to explain that that's pretty normal because they don't have an interest. They have some other thing, So you may have to approach them with what their interest is. The football player is interested in winning a football game. So you can, approach it like that, that, our books help people to become really good yogis and able to do better with the things that they do in life. There are a lot of football players that practice yoga. It keeps people flexible. It helps you to have a more expansive mind or a broader mind so you can understand things easier and you can play at the top of your game. So, it's like in the material world, they say the right thing to sell their product. So I'm not saying that we should just become like a merchant who's selling something material, but if the material merchants can be so expert at selling some simple material objects, the same way we have to become those of us who are doing that. Maybe not everyone is courageous as you to actually approach people that they don't even know in a place maybe that they have not even been to before. And to try to give them love of Krishna is a very difficult thing. But somehow ever you have that Shakti or that energy, and Krishna has embodied you with that energy. So I'm just, responding to your question, that maybe, if you continue to hone or to make better your expertise, you take advantage of what you can understand about that person, just like an ordinary merchant might. That this person has this interest, so for my product to appeal to that person, I have to present it in a way that draws his interest. So, without having to tell people this is all about love of God, and there are many people who are interested in love of God, so we can directly talk about that. But other people really don't carry that interest, or they have a sectarian interest, and they're not interested in hearing it from in a language that they never heard before. Then we can approach them in a way that they can understand and they can reciprocate. And there's nothing unethical about that. We're simply presenting it. I mean, it's not like we're taking their life away. I mean, what do our books cost? $5? I mean, we have 50-cent books and dollar books, and if they want the mantra, we don't even charge them. So, I mean, it's not like we're harming people by giving them Krishna consciousness. We're just trying to make it appealing to them, and we have to utilize some intelligence to do that. And you are actually more expert on talking to people about that than me, because you do this more often than I do. Usually I make some formal presentation to people that have some interest, but you actually approach people right out in the cold that you don't even know and who may not have any interest. So that's glorious. Prabhupada is very pleased. He encouraged his disciples to do that. The devotees would go out and do that all over the world, especially this time of year, because people are all out trying to buy presents. So, we go out and we, distribute our books, just like people distribute so many other things. And, they make great presents. And so, that is something that was very dear to Krishna's dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada is very dear to Krishna. Another secret of making spiritual advancement is to please the devotee who is very dear to Krishna. So Prabhupada invested all of his life and blood in writing these books. And when somebody actually went out and sold them to some other person, that really pleased Prabhupada. Because after all, his whole life was invested in making these books. He went through great ordeals to publish these books. And when they were published, he encouraged his disciples to distribute them. Those disciples would do that just as you are doing it today, just to please him. Because by pleasing Prabhupada, they were sure Krishna would be pleased. Prabhupada would give the analogy, if you please a man's dog, or their child, then the man's going to be pleased. So if we please Krishna's dear devotee, Krishna will be pleased. Those devotees would go out and distribute so many books. And in the beginning it was very difficult. We wasn't used to it. But devotees became very expert very quickly, and soon they could sell hundreds of books. And there could be thousands of people distributing them. I mean, our Bhagavad Gita we sold more of our Bhagavad Gita than any other Bhagavad Gita has sold all over the world. The Bhagavad Gita published by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness has sold probably 10 or 100 times more than any other Bhagavad Gita ever published. So the devotees pleased Prabhupada, and they pleased Krishna. Don't let me forget that dear Krishna Maharaj left Dwi Puja a thank you card, Mother Mahalakshmi, and then you can ask your question.
Thank you. I was just going to say that it's really like, you never know when they're coming. I mean, you know that better than I do, being a book distributor. But when we were in Georgia, and that we had a personal guide to help us when we were digging. And we just threw out somewhere along the line, we do the vegetarian thing, for our lunch, and then I'm working with this girl, she's like maybe 35, and then she just starts pouring out her heart how, her parents had become vegetarian, how when she was in Germany, she was a vegetarian, now she's in a foreign country, and it's like the whole spiritual, movement she was getting into was all gone, and, she was just really struggling. And I'm just trying to work, and finally I just, this girl was just, trying to pull it out of me. Finally, I just said, okay, and I just, you're the most important thing right now. So I just started talking to her about Krishna consciousness, and then we both started working really enthusiastically, because she's just like, wow, I feel like I found my tribe, you guys are what I've been looking for. And so she's getting ready to move out west, and we told her there's so many temples, different things, and I had a couple of books in the car, so I gave her some books, and I wasn't going to charge her immediately. She said, can I give you something for these books? I have money. I have some money in my car. And I said, yeah, sure, that will help on your path of bhakti. Go ahead, you can pitch in. And she ended up getting me, $6, I think is what she had. And they were maybe $2 books or something, and it's just, you never know. And one time when I was in the French Quarter, this man, he just kept saying no, 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 and I was insisting a little bit, and finally he just looked at me and goes, "Are you a Hare Krishna?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And so then he just kind of like stopped and he looked at me for a long time. It seemed like a couple of minutes anyway, because I wasn't going to budge. Being a teacher, you just kind of wait around for a minute. And so then I looked at him, I said, "Not today." And he said, "No, not today, thank you." He said, "Maybe next time." I said, "Well, maybe next time you'll get a book." And he was just like, "Yeah, So putting those books in their hand is already starting them on their journey. So maybe the next time they're going to take that book. They're already progressing. Just even an interaction with, a devotee helps them move on a little further. Just saying Hare Krishna like that. So it's a slow progression that people are on, and the more they hear the chanting of Hare Krishna, on TV programs or whatever, they don't even realize their hearts are becoming more and more softened and cleansed. So it's a wonderful service. It's a wonderful service.
Anything else? Okay, I think we're going to take prasadam in here today, so we really don't have to move because it's really chilly out there, and it'd be very difficult to utilize some other building we have. So I'll close the curtains, and we'll just take prasadam in here. A lot of times families sit together, or the ladies sit on one side, the men on the other, but the families usually just sit together, And they'll start bringing the prasad over, and we can do that. If anybody can support Maharani's bake sale today, I think she's raising money for the guest house, but I'm not 100%
Cow
sure.
festival tables.
Oh, it's for the cow festival?
Yes.
Okay, they're raising money for the cows today outside, selling all kinds of goodies.
To buy tables.
To buy tables?
Yeah, for
Yes,
next year.
cow.
Okay, to buy tables for the cow fest, they're selling different goodies outside. Anybody can support that, that'll be very nice. Okay, Srila Prabhupada to Jai. Again, we thank Mr. Hari for sponsoring our feast today to feed all the devotees.
Jai.
We bless his son, Tanush, with
Birthday?
everything desirable. Hare Krishna.